You're now listening to All Hog Sports, covering all Arkansas Razorback sports, such as football, basketball, baseball, and much more. Now, here's your host for today's show, Sam Stimpson.
Now, the Razorbacks look to rebound against number 9 ranked Tennessee on Wednesday, January 6th at 6 p.m. Game is on ESPN2 at Stimpson Bowling Arena at the University of Tennessee, and there's a maximum of 4,000 fans, and that would put the arena at 18% capacity. Now, both teams are coming off 2 sizable losses. Both teams also having record-low shooting performances for the season. The Razorbacks lost to Missouri, and Tennessee lost to Alabama. Now, Arkansas is obviously 9-1, and they're coming off that bad Missouri loss, which I recapped on Monday's show. I talked about really why the Razorbacks struggle and what they need to do going forward into SEC play without Justin Smith to be successful. But I really won't get into a ton of that, as that's all on that episode. But a quick little, recap of why they lost that game is they were 26% shooting, and they were dominated in the paint without Justin Smith. Now, here's just some things that the Razorbacks need to do better against Tennessee. They need to do better on layups. 3 out of 22 on Saturday, and Eric Musselman talked about the technique and everything for layups with this team, so I have no doubt that it's going to improve there. And then finishing shots around the rim, it hasn't been as strong without Justin Smith. Obviously, that's a huge loss when he's out for ankle surgery for 3 to 6 weeks, and you don't know how long that's going to be because it's such a big time period and when you don't have a guy like Justin Smith for a period of 3 to 6 weeks, that's going to be something that you're going to have to figure out. Also, shot selection, I feel like there's multiple times where guys get cold and they keep taking shots in positions that they shouldn't. So that, and then just being too fancy. Like Musselman was talking about it, just don't do Euro steps and things like that. Just really old-fashioned basketball, I'm not a big, preacher of, old and new ball, but this is something the Razorbacks need to do better, is just, put the ball in the hoop and score points. If we're going to do Euro steps but miss our layup, why does it matter? You got to do everything you can do to put the points on the board to win basketball games. And then passing more in times you don't want to take a bad shot, that's just complementary to shot selection. But contradictory to all that, things they're doing well is they've been able to force turnovers, and they have been doing pretty good on turning those into points, but I feel like when you finish better offensively with shooting and stuff, you obviously get more turnover points. Before Saturday, they did a really good job of rebounding. They've been doing a pretty good job passing the ball around and getting assists as well. And something they've done well is defense and creating steals, which, result in turnovers as well. They've done really good on that steals and block front. Connor Vanover and Jalen Williams making some big blocks, the last few games. But with Justin Smith out for a while, who's next up? Well, we saw on Saturday that Devo Davis seems to be the likely starter. In the absence of Smith, this would be going to a small ball rotation. That's, 4 guards, 1 forward. But Musselman said the Razorbacks may play bigger, so then you put yourself in the position of, do you start Vance Jackson and Vanover? So I think there's many different combinations the Razorbacks could go if they still wanted to use 2 forwards. But 2 guys I look to step up is Jalen Williams and Vance Jackson. And when you're playing the number 9 ranked team in the nation, you're going to have to put points on the board and rebound. Moses Moody averages 16.9 points per game. He's going to be the starting guard on the floor. Connor Vanover, the leading rebounder, at 7.3 rebounds per game. And he's done a pretty good job of, crashing the boards and getting rebounds and out of conference play. And I think, there's some spots here and there within his game that Musselman was working with him in practice to get, a little more physical around those boards to get what he needs to do. And then just the whole combination. Jalen Tate, though, averaging 4.2 assists per game. This guy has been really good all season creating plays and things like that. I talk about it all the time. But the starting 5 for the Razorbacks would obviously be guard Moses Moody, the likely lottery pick, guard Jalen Tate, guard Desi Sills, and forward Connor Vanover. Sills and Vanover look to have a better game than they did. Sills and Vanover combined for 1 field goal against Missouri. However, I do expect both of those guys to step up. Sills has done a tremendous job shooting in out-of-conference play, and Vanover did really good in out-of-conference play as well. I think the talent is really there for those 2 guys, and for them to step up is big against Tennessee. I think we'll see bounce-back games for those two, as that talent level is definitely there, especially for a guy like Vanover, who's 7'3", and can make plays for the Razorbacks. Now, who do you put at the fifth position? We don't know yet. However, it could be forward Jalen Williams, the freshman, forward Vance Jackson, the grad transfer, or last game it was guard Devo Davis. I think they're going to go with Devo Davis, though. Devo Davis is just a really good guard. Defensively, he gets a ton of pass deflections, blocks shots, things like that. They create scoring opportunities for Arkansas. But guys to watch off the bench is obviously guard J.D. Note, who usually comes in and gets a spark going for the Razorbacks, and the guard K.K. Robinson, to see if he picks up any more minutes. Now, the Tennessee Volunteers were ranked number 3 in the NCAA net rankings. Arkansas was ranked number 23 on that front. But the more regarded poll at this time is the AP Top 25, Tennessee at number 9. Talked about that a lot. They're 7-1, coming off of a tough loss to Alabama. They also had their worst shooting day as well. And Bama won without a guy that was powerful within the paint. And this is something the Razorbacks may struggle with. So Bama was able to do this just by playing good defense and limiting the Volunteers from 3 and off the floor. Now, guard Jaden Springer was taken out of the game with an ankle sprain. However, he is believed to be able to play for the Volunteers. He is their number 3 scoring guy at 10.6 points per game. That's definitely a shooter that's going to help the Volunteers rebound, shoot better, things like that. However, starting 5 last game was Santiago Vescovi is the assist leader at 3.8. He serves that kind of Jalen Tate role for them, setting up plays, things like that. Josiah Jordan-James is a guard, however, he's done really good at rebounding, leader at 6.2. This is a guy that a lot of our forwards and some of our small ball guards are going to face against to get those rebounds on Wednesday. Guard Victor Bailey Jr., guard Yves Pons as well. This is a guy who can create points, and arguably the most important guy for the Razorbacks to limit is forward John Fulkerson at 6'9", averaging 11.1 points per game. He's a guy finishing shots, layups, things like that. And at 6.1 rebounds per game, he would be leading in rebounds if he had like 0.1 more. But this is the most important guy on Tennessee. This guy has shown to be a force, especially in SEC play and such. And for a team that really struggled against Jeremiah Tillman, I think it's going to be a hard task to stop John Fulkerson. A lot of their games are comparable to the play style of Tillman. But obviously you study film and things like that to try to adjust to a big like Fulkerson. Volunteers are most likely to roll with an 8 to 10 man rotation. That's what they've been doing in their key games this season in SEC play. However, it could change, though, based on Jaden Springer's injury. But Jaden Springer is a great guy to have for the Volunteers if he's healthy. I'm not sure how much he's going to play or not, but he's going to be available if Rick Barnes wants to use him. Rick Barnes, a fantastic coach and recruiter. But Jaden can provide an offensive spark. He is 70% from 3, shooting 10 threes on the year, making 7 of them. Not a really big sample size, but 54.7% from the floor. Right after this quick break, I'll be back with my prediction and then a prediction from a model.
It's time for Sam's prediction. Sam's prediction.
My prediction for this game is the Razorbacks are not going to get the road win against Tennessee. I got Tennessee winning 75-67. I think the Volunteers are a very strong team within the paint. John Fulkerson is going to be a guy that is going to be matching up against Connor Vanover, and what's going to happen there, you'll see on Wednesday. And then you look at other situations. Razorbacks coming off of a cold shooting day, still trying to find a way to adapt without Justin Smith. And is Vance Jackson going to be able to step up in a role like that and play better than he has earlier in the season? It's hard to tell what's going to happen within the starting lineup, and I think that's going to shake some things out for the Razorbacks. However, I think Vance Jackson is going to get some more minutes, and I think he's going to perform well. I think he's really motivated to get that spot and turn things around and hopefully be that guy for the Razorbacks until Justin Smith gets back. And when Smith gets back, you can have a reliable guy if Smith needs to come out of the game or something like that, because Smith is just a really physical guy and, may get banged up, and he's taken out for a minute or so. You know the deal with that kind of stuff. But then I think the Razorbacks are going to have a better day on the floor. I think they're going to shoot 40% or such. However, I think Tennessee is looking to rebound after a tough loss as well. And I think Razorbacks will make improvements within their game, but fall short to the Volunteers. Now, prediction from Haslametrics.com. They have Tennessee winning 77.33 to 68.42. This is just a model that they make based off of a ton of statistics, so that's why it's so accurate down to the decimals. ESPN FBI gives Arkansas a 25.2% chance of winning, and FanDuel Sportsbook, as of January 5th, has Arkansas as a 7.5 underdog. Big game for the Razorbacks, though. I hope they are able to get the dub. However, I think they're going to fall short, but make strides within their game comparative to the Missouri one. You can find my Twitter at AllHogSportsPod, and all of my social medias at that same @, or you can find their links on allhogsports.com. You know the deal. But, signing off, for always, Whoopig.
That's all for today's episode of All Hog Sports with Sam Stimpson. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode covering all Arkansas Razorback sports. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media too. On Twitter and Instagram at All Hog Sports Pod. Like on Facebook at All Hog Sports and Arkansas Razorbacks Podcast. And on YouTube at that same name. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Go Hogs!